Hi everybody, it's Marie. I'm working with my December bargain bead box. I'm going to make this little pendant piece here with you and show you how I did it. I do not have enough of these barrel beads in blue to show you it again in blue because I did use some in another project and it takes 8 of them. So I'm going to do it in orange. I have these orange ones here that are the exact same bead. As you can see, they're just orange. So I have that, and in place of the little beads here, I've got these little peach colored crystals, and I have these little 6mm coin beads that I'm going to use in place of the rondelles here. The effect should be exactly the same, so the steps will definitely be the same. And I have this little stopper bead. So let me get this stuff out of the way a little bit and get started. So we're going to need 8 of the barrel beads, 8 of the 6mm beads, and 16 of the little crystal beads, and 1 of our center beads. Okay? And we're going to need about 3 feet, give or take, of 6-pound monofilament. So I'm just going to pull that off. I'm not going to measure it out. I'm just going to haul off about 3 feet of it. Alright. That's probably way more than I need, but I'd rather have more than not enough. I'm going to take my little stopper bead and put it on one end. If I can find the hole in it. You guys please bear with me. My eyesight is just horrible today. The lighting in here is bad. It's very, very overcast. We're supposed to get snow. Nasty, snowy, rainy mix through the night. And it's really gray and yucky out. So my lighting is kind of crappy today. But I will try to make sure you guys can see everything I'm doing. I'll try really, really hard to stay in frame. I know that's important. Okay, so I have my bead on, and that is just to keep the rest of my beads from coming off on me. I'm going to go up to my top end, and I know you can't see my monofilament. It's very, very transparent here, and with this white towel under it, it's even more so. But I'm going to feed on one of my beads, one of the barrel beads. I'm going to put on my crystal bead. We are going to be passing through this crystal bead a lot. So make sure if you're making this, you pick a bead that has a good hole, a good sized hole. And these ones worked really well for it because they do have a decent sized hole, but we do have to pass through that frequently. So I'm going to put that one on. Another barrel bead. Then one of our little tiny crystals. This is where I'm going to struggle, everybody, trying to find the hole on these little crystals. Please, please bear with me. One of our 6mm beads, whether it be a bicone or as I'm doing with a coin bead, anything that you have that's a little 6mm bead. Or if you have fatter barrel beads, you might want to go up to an 8mm. I'm just trying to fill the distance between my barrel beads. That's why I actually ended up adding on these little crystals on the sides, because I did it the first time around with just the crystal in the middle, the 6mm in the middle, and it wasn't quite enough. There was a lot of wire showing, a lot of cord showing, so I ended up taking it apart and adding the little beads on the side. I have another barrel bead, so that's a total of 3 barrel beads. We have, at this moment, let me slide this all down to my stopper bead, or very close to my stopper bead. So my stopper bead's over here. I've got probably 4 inches of room there. I'm going to keep it at that. I don't want to go any more than that. I have a barrel bead, my crystal, a barrel bead, the little crystal, 6mm little crystal, barrel bead. At this point, I'm going to get my end of my working end. I'm going to go back through the crystal center crystal and that very first barrel bead. And pull that end through. Pull my stopper bead back because I just pulled it down through too much. And this is what I've got. And this is what it should start doing. Okay. Now we're going to put on, we will be working back and forth from side to side, but we will also be working like that side, this side, that side, this side. That makes sense. So we have another one of the tiny crystals. I guess we could call those faceted. Call these coins. Another faceted. So it's a faceted, a coin, a faceted. And if and when I ever get that on there. Iris, stop digging. She has such dry skin. And this winter is really drying it out. And then I have another barrel bead. So this is what I've got going on right here. Okay. So we're going to slide that down. This time where we came in on this side, we're going to come out over on that side. So, or vice versa, we came out over on that side, we're going to come in on this side. So I want to bring that around like this. Get my end again. This time I'm going to go back through the crystal and come out this orange bead. Okay. Just want to keep beating that through till I can get it. And there's my end right there. So we'll start pulling that through. Try to hold everything together here. Okay, and this is what it's starting to do. It's starting to form both sides of the circle. Obviously, the rest of the beads are going to be going this way. My hole in my center bead does not go that way, so there is going to be some drag around the side. It doesn't matter. It will all lay out eventually. I mean, this one did, and they come out. These ones here are coming out the side, not the. You know, I still had to bring my wire up and over and down through, so we will have to do that again with this, but that's okay. It works. Works just fine. It will be loose at first, kind of everything will shift around on you a little bit to begin with, but it comes together in the end. So another one of our little faceteds, another coin, and this is just a repeat of these steps. Another faceted and another barrel bead. And we'll bring this down. Get that end out of my way. See, as we bring this down, this one is now going to come back around this way. And because this bead's going to lay against the side of that bead, I'm going to have to come down to here to bring it back through. So let me find my end here and I'll try to demonstrate what I'm talking about. See, I'm going to have to come down here where the hole in the bead is to get it through there. I try not to pass it through any of the orange beads on the opposite side. I want just the clear bead to be the one I go through at the moment. And there's my end right there. Okay, there's my end. I know it's starting to look like a hot mess with all this stuff in the way, but get some of that pulled down out of the way here. There we go, just like that. Bring it back down here. I have another project underneath this towel, so it's kind of lumpy and bumpy. I didn't want to pick it up. So I just laid the towel over it. It's probably a bad idea, but as long as you can see what I'm doing, I guess that's what's important. Okay, I'm going to go back up through the hole in this orange bead. Pull that through. So everything's starting to pull together. It's starting to look really cute. The bead that's got this stopper on it that's coming out of this bead here, it's going to be loose for a little while, so that one's going to keep slipping on me for a bit. I'm going to have to keep tightening it as I go, but in the end I'll end up running it back through a few times, and that will pull it together tight for me. Alright, so another faceted and another struggle. Another coin. And another faceted, and another barrel bead. Back on there. Okay, so now I'm coming out over here, across from this one. Okay, so you can see what it's starting to do. Now I'm going to go back through the crystal that way. Okay, I'm out. Now I want to go through this one. Come on now. I know it's right there. I can see it. There we go. Okay. Starting to come together here. Pretty. Okay, now at this point, we've got one more for each side. So I'm going to start pulling the whole thing together here in a bit. I'm going to take this crystal bead, a faceted bead, another coin. Gosh, I wish my fingers would cooperate with me. Another faceted, and another barrel bead. Okay, now this time we are right here. So we're going this way, right? That means we need to go back through the crystal from the right to the left, and we're going to come back out that bead over there. So let's go up here, put it through this one. I just saw it come out the top. Where did it go? Did I pull it all back out? I probably did. I think I did. How did I manage that? No, I didn't. It's just coming out of the crystal and not the orange. That's okay. Okay. Oops, sorry guys. Okay, so it's starting to come together nice. Now we've got our last section of beadwork with the, oops, sorry, way out of screen here. Last section of beadwork with a barrel on it. Okay. It's getting kind of fiddly here because we get a lot of stuff in the way. Okay, we're going to go back up through the crystal, right to left. Again, this center bead is starting to get kind of full. Pull that through. Pull it up through this barrel bead over here on the side, just like we always do. Now at this point, we are going to, see that looks like it wants to go that way. It's because it's got to lay up against here and we haven't got it there yet, but it will get there eventually. It just looks a little funny at the moment. Once we start putting these beads in that will hold them apart, it'll come together. So now we're just going to put on a faceted, a coin, and a faceted, and that one looks like it's broke. And now we're going to go back down through this orange one right beside it. Okay, just bring it down through. Don't worry about the center bead at the moment. Just want to get this all pulled together here. Alright, so this is what we're getting. That one is going to have to come up here a bit. It will in a minute. Let me find the other end of this. I keep dropping it and then I can't find it. Okay, so now I'm coming out of this one. I'm going to go back up through here. If I can get my cord out of the way. I need to come back out the top of the crystal. I'm not really sure where I went. There it is, right there. Okay. Now I need to come back into this one here because it's not lined up with the top of my bead and it's way over here. I kind of have to get a hold of it and stretch my cord just a tiny bit, pull it through, and things will start looking circular. Once I get this last little section in, we will be done with that. Is that broken bead? It is. Alright, I thought I got out extras of these, but I'm not seeing them. So I need to find one more. Wouldn't have if I hadn't had the broken one, but that's okay. So one of the faceted, one of the coin beads here, and let me see if I can find one more of those in peach. Go. And then the last one of these. Very last one. I'm gonna have to struggle with it. Okay, get that broken one. No, that isn't the broken one. That's the other one here. Okay, so the only space that's left now that doesn't have anything in it is right here. So we're gonna go back down through. I'm even gonna catch that piece of wire that's kind of running across there, piece of monofilament, just to snug things up a bit. And as we start pulling things together, it will start shaping. So at this point, what I would like to do is, or what I do is, I start tightening up around the threads that are zigzagging back and forth through here. I start tightening them up, and I do that by just going I'm going to go down between, I got to find the end of my string here, all the way to the end. I'm going to go down between two of my orange beads. It doesn't matter which two, just whatever's out there. Wherever you can find a space to put it through, you got plenty of room. And then I'm going to let it slide right down to my center bead, as far as it will go. And then I'm going to come back up through this one, the next one, so that I'm going around. So I'm going around these cords down here. I'm going to do that a couple times. It just helps to start pulling them tight and firming stuff up for you. Whoop, sorry about that. Tight quarters here. Okay, so I'm going to go back down around it again. And then I'm going to come up the next one. My monofilament seems to want to stick to my thumb, so every time I move it comes with me. Okay, I'm going down through this one, and this time I'm going to move it down so I come up through here, the very next one up. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around this one twice, and then I'm going to move up again. Things start getting a little bit difficult here. My thread doesn't want to work. My fingers don't want to work. Okay. And I'm just going to keep doing this a few times on each one until I feel like it's like I'm up the next one now, and down this one. And when you pull on it, it will slide it right off your bead down to your threads that you're encasing with this. So it's kind of like sewing. You're going in one side, out the other, back and forth. So I've gone around this one probably 3 times now, which is good. And now I'm going to move up and just spin it like spinning a wheel. Up through this one, and down through this one. Do this one a few times, 2-3 times each. Just helps make everything good and tight. Helps it to start holding together. Okay, spin it again. Come up through the next one. Go down through this one. That's the stopper wire here. So it's kind of in the way right now, but I'm just going to pull it back. Actually, I think I want to leave it out there so that I'm not I'm not tangling around it. So you're just going to keep doing that. You're just going to keep pulling them through, back and forth, 2-3 times on each one, until you've gone all the way around. Or you can go around twice, doesn't matter. You can use that stopper beads as your starting and finishing point. Work to it, and then work back from it, and work to it again. But anyways, I think I've gone around it enough now so that it's getting to be pretty tight. It's not all flippy and floppy anymore. So now at this point, what I want to do is, I think I'm going to work this stopper bead and get it out of here. I'm going to take it off. Okay, get rid of that. And there's a fairly decent amount of string here, so I might as well just use it. I'm going to go through these crystals right here. Try to. If I can get it in there. Maybe not. Maybe I'll go down through instead. Okay, let's go through here. Head towards the opening of the center bead. See if I can get to go through all three at once. It did, yay! It did. I went through all three of them. Okay. Now I'm going to go down through all three of these. Hopefully. I didn't. I went through one, but that's alright. I can go back through here into that one. And I'm going to go back up through the other one on the opposite side. And at this point, you really can go pretty much anywhere. Okay, so to end this one, I'm going to go through here, up through, just like that. I'm going to go through the loop I just made and knot it off right over that cross wire, and I'm going to do that twice. So back up through, pull it up a little bit, push it back through the loop I just made, and just knot it off. Alright, and I like to, I don't have a one of those wire burners. Wish I did, but usually what I do is I trim it so there's a little space left, like this, little tail, and then I take my lighter to it afterwards very, very carefully. So I'm just going to leave the tail for now. Okay, at this point what I want to do is I want to get this long working thread back out to the outer edge. And I am currently coming out of this spot right here. So I'm just going to work it up through this orange bead right here. Now I'm at the top. And I came through these ones with that wire that I just trimmed. So I'm going to continue on going this way. I'm just going to flip it over in my hand because I'm right-handed. And I want to get into, again, that little faceted bead. And if I'm lucky, I can go through all three, the faceted, the coin, and the faceted all in one pass, but we'll see. And it did. It's right there. So there's that. And I'm going to skip right over that opening. And I'm going to go back again right through the next section. That one did not hit my second faceted. Let's see if I can get it. No, it's not going to do it for me, so I'm going to have to go through just the two for the moment, and then come back and get the faceted, which is okay. Just means I have to finagle my bead out of the way a little bit. And I will get it. It might take me a minute, but I will get it. I'm going to have to pause for a minute though, because I cannot see it from this distance. Okay, so I got it through that second bead. Didn't I? Where is it? Where's my tail? Way over here. Oh, I guess it's technically the third bead. But it's the second. That second one of the faceteds. So now we're going to go to the next one. And this is just going to help firm this whole thing up even more. So the little beads that I was using on the blue set, the holes were not quite so small. And it was a little bit easier to pass my cord through. But this one is not as easy. It's giving me a little more trouble. I don't know where my end is at. Not so sure it's come through yet. Sometimes you might even end up having to just, oh, look, it's way over here and I didn't even realize it had come out. Sometimes you do have to feed each bead individually though. That one did come through, I just didn't see it there. Okay, so let's do the next one. Try to get the holes to line up a little bit too, helps. There we go. Oh, and I just pulled it back out with my finger. Okay. All right, we're getting there. About halfway right now. It's a little bit slow progress, but it's worth it in the end. Oh, that one came through quick. I missed a bead though. Let's see if we can't get that one. Yeah, let's pull these through first. So after we get this all finished up, you can do whatever you want with it. You can use it on a necklace. You could glue a pin backing to it, make a pin, make a really pretty pin. You could wire wrap something onto it and make dangles. I will show you how I made the bail part for it, so I could hang it from a necklace. Getting tangled around my beads. We're almost there. Just got a couple more sections to pass through. This one's going to give me difficulties. And if at this point you already get the idea of what I'm doing and you don't want to watch me struggle, feel free to fast forward through this. Some of you might still need to see it. Some of you might be like, I don't need to watch this again and again. So please feel forward to fast forward through it. I just want to make sure that I do what I need to do so that the people who don't know have it to look at and watch. Alright, I'm really not getting it through this one. This might be one of the ones I need to just take it away and get it up close again. I notice I keep pulling it out of frame because I'm trying to see. I don't want to do that. It might just be that the hole in this particular bead is just too small for a second pass. Alright, I'm going to pause and get it real close to me so I can see it. Okay, so it took me a minute, but I got it to go through that one and the coin bead. Now I'm just coming out the coin bead and going through that last faceted bead here. And maybe I should have just done that off screen too. Alright. I know I have an end here. Where's my end? There it is. Alright, I got one more pass to go and we are done. I can start threading it through and tying it off. And then we went right through, thankfully. There we go. That's always nice. And here is our pendant piece all put together, looking very pretty. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is the same thing I did with the other one. I'm just going to bring it up through a space, right about here. Bring it through my loop and just let it form a knot right over my wire. Do a second one, put it through, bring it up through, and once again, let's get it off that bead. Once again, just form a little knot right there. No, it's not clearing very well for you to see, but I just went over the cross wire and knotted it off. So once again, I'm just going to trim that down. I'm going to go burn my end real quick just because I don't want to do it on here because I'm afraid I'll catch it on fire, to be honest with you. Okay, so this is what I did. I just took my lighter to it and I just melted it down. You see the little end on it there? I just melted it down. A zapper would have worked better if I had one. I probably could have melted it down just a tiny bit more. But for now, I'm leaving it just like that, and it's fine. It looks really good. The whole entire pendant is real pretty. So let's work on making a little bail for it so you can hang it somehow. All right, and you could actually make this a link for a bracelet by doing the same thing and just putting it so that your wire is coming out on both sides and closing it off. But we're going to do it as a pendant right now. Just trying to find my silver wire. This is my 24 gauge. Yeah, that's the one I want. And I'm going to pull off probably about 8 inches or so. It's more than enough, probably. All right, I'm going to find the part of my bead where the hole lines up and down, okay? I want my bail piece to end up here where my knots are, so they'll be a little bit hidden. And all I'm going to do is start where my knots are, push my wire down through all 3 beads in this line, and it will take a little finagling to get that to work. Gotta line them up, get it through. You might only get it through 2 at once and then have to work on getting the 3rd one, but it will work. You can get it. I'm coming out of my center one now, I think, getting ready to go into that 3rd orange one. I need to straighten my wire a little bit more though. Okay, let's do this again. Through that one, into the center one. Line up for me. All else fails, do them individually. Again, like I said, this wire, this center bead is really full of stuff, so it is getting snugger and snugger, and it's going to want to fight it. And there's my wire. I'm just going to pull it through. I don't want to crimp it all up, so I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And work it through that last orange bead. Okay. Now at this point, you want to be real careful not to pinch your wire. Feed it through as best you can. Just be gentle with it. The other one wasn't quite as tight as this one is, so I didn't have quite as much of a struggle with that one, but it's okay. We'll get it. Like I said, just take your time. Work your wire through. Okay, so I'm getting it there now. Take the kinks out of it best I can and get it all pulled down through. Now, do not pull it all the way out on yourself after all that. Oh no. So that's what not to do. Alright, so I'm going to pause. I'm going to get it back through here again to where we were. Okay, so I'm all the way through now. So at this point, if you wanted to make it a connector, you could just do a couple of rolled loops on the ends here. Have a nice little connector to make a bracelet or something with. I'm going to take it and feed it back up through, but I want to make sure that I go over that little bit of cross wire from the monofilament that's right there, so that my wire doesn't actually come all the way back up through on me again. I want to make sure there's something there, basically like you would with a bead, to hold it so that it can, come back up through without, oh, I'm almost there. Look at that. Wow, that worked out really well. Without, coming back out on you. Okay, I got a little bit left there. I gotta get that part in there. And that's what we have now. Okay. There's a little tiny tail still sticking out down here. I don't have a problem with that, but if you do, just push it the rest of the way in, or give it another little small tug. But anyway, this is our beautiful pendant piece so far. It's looking real, real pretty. So at this point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to my 2 wires here, and I'm going to twist, 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 until I get a nice twist on it, all the way up. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to take my round nose or your barrel pliers or whatever you've got, and I'm going to bend it over just like that. I'm going to bring it up here into a thicker spot. I'm going to up and over, rotate, rotate again, up and over, rotate. So I've gone around it now twice. And then just like, and I'm going to turn it sideways, it's going to be easier for me to work with. But I'm going to take and hold on to it just like I would any wrapped loop. Just like that. Take my pliers, grab my ends, and just wrap right up around there, just like that. Okay, and if you're going to work with it this way, like I said, if you're going to make it so that it's a connector, you're going to do that on both ends. If you're going to do it as a pendant, just do this one end, come in, trim your little ends off, and push them down in, and take your piece and turn it back now so that it's back like this. Now at this point you have the option of splitting the two, because you made 2 wraps. If I can get my finger in there to split it, and do like a separated type of bail, or you can leave them together and just let it be one loop, just like that. But there it is. There is our pretty pendant. So what do you think, guys? You want to give it a try? I'd love to see if you guys do. Let me see. If you have any tips and tricks on how I could have done this to make it a little bit easier on myself, love to hear about it. Honestly, this is something I just did on my own. I just sat with a piece of monofilament in my beads and played in brown until I figured out how I had it and how I wanted it, until it came out like I wanted it to look. And I was very, very happy with it. So I thought you guys might like to see it. Anyway, there it is. And here it is as a necklace. And I just took it and put it on some Coriana chain. Did some little floating bead sections. And I'm just going to put one of my clasps at the end of it that we got in the box. And that's it. I'm keeping it that simple. I think it's super pretty just like that. And here I am putting it all down and it's not even in the right spot. But there it is, guys. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and tell me what you think. Bye, guys.